Most men over 60 don't realize their body is sending quiet warnings until those warnings become impossible to ignore. And when it comes to prostate cancer, those warnings aren't loud or dramatic. They're subtle, easy to dismiss. You tell yourself it's just age when you wake up to pee more than once a night. You shrug off that dull ache in your lower back. You think a slower stream or weaker erections are just part of getting older. But these tiny shifts can be the very first signs your prostate is under attack. Ignore them, and you're not just gambling with your erections, you're gambling with your life. Over 60% of men miss the earliest 12 symptoms completely. By the time they realize something's wrong, the cancer has already spread. I'm here to make sure that's not you. But these tiny shifts can be the very first signs your prostate is under attack. Ignore them, and you're not just gambling with your erections, you're gambling with your life. Over 60% of men miss the earliest 12 symptoms completely. By the time they realize something's wrong, the cancer has already spread. I'm here to make sure that's not you. Before we dive into these signs, I want to hear from you. How many times do you get up at night to urinate? Once? Twice? More? Type your answer in the comments. You'll be surprised how many men your age are facing the same thing. And if you want real, no-nonsense advice on protecting your prostate, keeping strong erections, and living with energy well into your 60s and beyond, hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell. This is a place for men who want real solutions. No pills, no gimmicks, no shame. Frank was 68, a former engineer. Sharp mind, steady hands. He kept himself in shape, walked 3 miles a day, ate well. He didn't smoke, hardly drank. By all accounts, he was the picture of health. The only thing he noticed, and barely thought twice about, was that it took him a few extra seconds to get his urine stream started. And lately, he'd been waking up twice a night to go to the bathroom. Friends brushed it off. That's just age, they told him, and Frank believed them. 6 months later, he walked into my office. I'm Dr. Catherine Rotker, a urologist who spent decades helping men protect their health, their confidence, and their relationships. I've seen thousands of cases like Frank's, men who mistake early warning signs for nothing at all. I ordered a simple PSA blood test. It came back elevated. Imaging confirmed early-stage prostate cancer. Frank was stunned. He felt fine. No pain, no fatigue. He still had strong erections, but the cancer had been growing quietly, almost invisibly. I told him what I've told so many men. Most wait until the symptoms are severe, when the cancer is advanced, harder to treat, and more likely to steal the very things that make life worth living. Catching it early gives you the best shot at a complete recovery, and it's how you preserve your independence, your health, and your manhood. The truth is, early prostate cancer rarely announces itself with pain. Instead, it whispers through subtle changes. A slower stream, more frequent trips at night, a heaviness in the pelvis, or just a slight dip in energy. Those whispers are your first chance to act. Ignore them, and they may be your last. There's a reason prostate cancer is so dangerous for men over 60. It hides behind a silent enemy. You can't see it, you can't feel it, but it's there, working quietly against you. Your prostate sits just below your bladder, wrapped around the tube that carries urine out of your body, the urethra. When inflammation builds, or when a tumor begins to grow, it doesn't always cause pain. Instead, it subtly squeezes that passage. That's why you might notice you're up more at night, your stream feels weaker, or it takes longer to get started. This silent enemy doesn't just threaten your prostate. It cuts blood flow to the penis, dulling your erections. It increases the risk of urinary retention and bladder infections. And if ignored long enough, the cancer can escape the prostate and move into the bones. That's when the real pain begins, and the fight becomes far more difficult to win. Here's the hard truth. By the time you feel pain, the cancer may already be advanced. That's why awareness and early action are your strongest weapons. Catch it in the silent stage, and you give yourself the highest survival rate, the best chance to keep your quality of life, and the power to protect the very parts of yourself that make you feel like you. Protecting yourself from prostate cancer isn't about complicated treatments or waiting for something to go wrong. It's about knowing what to look for, taking a couple of simple steps, and doing them consistently enough to give yourself the best chance at catching a problem early, when it's still easy to fix. The first step is to learn the 12 early symptoms most men over 60 ignore. Trouble starting urination, a weak stream, a sudden urgency that feels hard to control, waking up more than once at night to go to the bathroom, blood in your urine or semen, pain in your hips or lower back, unexplained weight loss, changes in your erections, not just in firmness but how long they last, pelvic discomfort, burning when you urinate, swelling in your legs or feet, and a loss of appetite that doesn't make sense. None of these mean you definitely have prostate cancer. But if you notice even one of them, especially if it lasts more than a couple of weeks, that's your signal to get checked. These are your body's early warning lights. Ignore them, and you risk finding the problem only after it's spread. The second step is a simple, painless test, the PSA blood test. If you're over 60, do it once a year. It takes minutes. It can give you years of warning. And while it's not perfect, sometimes cancer can be present with a normal PSA. It's still one of the most valuable tools you have for catching changes before they turn into something serious. Combine it with awareness of your symptoms, and you've got a safety net most men sadly never use. The third step is improving blood flow and reducing inflammation in your prostate every single day. You don't need a gym membership. Just take a brisk walk for 20 to 30 minutes a day. That movement pushes fresh, oxygen-rich blood into your pelvic region, feeding your cells and carrying immune defenses exactly where they're needed. Drink 2 to 3 liters of water a day. Hydration keeps your urine flowing smoothly, helps flush out toxins, and reduces the irritation that can inflame your prostate. Eat selenium-rich foods like Brazil nuts and eggs. Selenium is a trace mineral your body uses to repair DNA damage, the kind of damage that can lead to cancer cells forming in the first place. Just 2 Brazil nuts can give you your daily dose. And don't underestimate the power of your spice rack. Turmeric and clove contain natural compounds that fight inflammation. Clove, in particular, is rich in eugenol, a substance that calms swelling and may slow the growth of abnormal cells. These aren't magic bullets, but over time they create an environment in your body that's less friendly to cancer. When you combine these 3 steps, knowing the 12 signs, getting your annual PSA, and supporting your prostate with blood flow, hydration, and nutrient-rich foods, you're not just lowering your risk. You're taking back control. You're giving yourself the best shot at staying strong, staying intimate, and staying here for the people who love you. It's not about fear. It's about being proactive. Your body is worth that. Your life is worth that. And the men who act early are the men who keep living on their own terms. Here's what usually happens when you start paying attention and take action early. By day 7, you feel a lift in your energy. That dragging heaviness in your pelvis starts to fade, and you notice it's easier to move through your day. By day 14, those constant night trips to the bathroom drop. You might still wake once, but you're no longer losing hours of sleep. By day 30, your urine flow feels stronger and more complete. You're emptying your bladder without straining, and your erections feel firmer and more dependable. By the 3-month mark and beyond, your PSA levels can improve, inflammation settles down, and a quiet confidence returns. You start to feel more like yourself again, not just physically, but in the way you carry yourself. This isn't magic. It's your body responding to steady, consistent care. The earlier you listen to the signs and act, the more control you keep over your health, your future, and your life. The biggest mistake you can make is waiting until pain shows up. Pain is a late sign. By the time it arrives, prostate cancer may have been growing silently for years. Another dangerous mistake is assuming that a normal PSA means you're in the clear. I've seen men with perfectly normal PSA results still diagnosed with prostate cancer. That's why knowing the symptoms is just as important as getting tested. Ignoring subtle changes, a weaker erection, a slower stream, waking up more at night, can cost you precious time. And when it comes to your health, time is the one thing you can't get back. You are not broken, and you are not powerless. Your body speaks to you, sometimes in whispers, sometimes in shouts. The key is to listen before those whispers turn into something you can't ignore. Prostate cancer doesn't have to take your strength, your independence, or the intimacy that makes you feel alive. If you've noticed even one of the 12 signs we've talked about today, don't wait. Talk to your doctor, get tested, and start giving your prostate the care it needs right now. Every step you take today could be the one that saves your tomorrow. This is more than just a channel. It's a community of men who refuse to fade quietly into the background. Men who stay informed, men who take action, men who stand shoulder to shoulder for each other. If this message hit home for you, like this video, share it with a friend who might be ignoring the same warning signs, and subscribe so you never miss real straight talk advice on men's health after 60. You're not alone in this fight. With the right knowledge, the right action, and the right mindset, you can protect your health, your confidence, and your future. And you can win.